Hi, my name is Matthew Bellisario. Thanks for coming by the BellisarioSonic YouTube channel from the heart of the Deep South on the outskirts of Birmingham, Alabama, where we talk about music, records, do record reviews, interviews, and much more. A lot of the reviews you're going to see on this channel, you're probably not going to see in other places. I really strive to, I really love to discover new music. And so on this channel, I'm sharing with you a lot of albums, especially jazz albums that are current releases. And I also love being able to have conversations with these wonderful musicians, learn about the making of their record, learn about their favorite artists, their influences, and so forth. If you missed the last few interviews, every Sunday I post up interviews called Sunday Conversations, and the last three that I've had have been fantastic. I had Corey Weeds on, the owner of Cellar Music Group, also a wonderful saxophone player. Had him on, had Charles Chen on, who was also on the Cellar Music label, great piano player. Had a two-part interview with him that I posted up. And this past Sunday was Simon Belelti, the owner, founder of JoJo Records, another wonderful jazz label. So a lot of cool stuff coming your way. And today is yet another wonderful, brand new jazz release. It just came out a couple of weeks ago, November 22nd to be exact. And the name of the album is That's What's Up. Heavy hitters coming your way. This is awesome. Fantastic album I've been listening to in my car. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time here. I'm going to play a song, talk to you about the different musicians on this record. It's going to be a little bit longer of a review than some of them because I really think that this, heavy hitters is a good description of this group of musicians. Mike LeDonne on piano, Eric Alexander, one of the most wonderful living tenor saxophone players out there. You have Jeremy Pelt on trumpet, phenomenal. Vincent Herring on alto saxophone, fantastic. Alexander Claffy, a wonderful bass player. You have Kenny Washington, who's a legend, on the drums. So this is an action-packed, if you will, record. This is a 2-album set out on the Cellar Music Group. This is one of the records I talked about with Corey Weeds a few weeks ago when I had him on the channel again. And this is a great record. So I'm going to share this with you. We're going to be listening. It's a 2-record set. I'm going to play something off all 4 sides, but I'm also going to talk about these wonderful musicians on this record. Now, Mike LeDonne and Eric Alexander are the 2 head names here, but everybody on this album are fantastic players. Mike LeDonne, born on October 26, 1956 in Bridgeport, Connecticut. He plays the piano. He's an organist, a composer, an educator. His parents ran a music store when he was a kid. His father was a jazz guitarist, and Mike started playing locally around the age of 10. He moved to New York between 1981 and 83, was a house pianist at Jimmy Ryan's, where he played with many of the biggest names in jazz music. LeDonne joined Milt Jackson's quartet around 1987. He also composed for and recorded with the band and eventually became the musical director for that band. He stayed with this quartet until Jackson's death in 1999. His first recording as a leader was in 88. He now has 28 albums to his name as a leader or co-leader. And as a sideman, he's played, I counted over 50 albums. I don't know how many, but I counted over 50 online. He's played in the Art Farmer, Clifford Jordan Quintet, toured Paris with Grady Tate, performed with Charles McPherson, James Moody, Sonny Rollins, Benny Golson. He served as an accompanist to Ernestine Anderson, Annie Ross, Mary Stallings, and he's played with countless others. So Mike LeDonne, big name, wonderful player. Let me just give you the background on Eric Alexander, then I'll open this up, drop on the first tune, let you hear it. And then when I flip it over, we'll talk about, as we go through and listen to some of the songs, I'll talk about the rest of the players on this record so I don't bore you with a monologue. Eric Alexander, however, to me, probably one of the greatest living saxophone players. And he's still relatively young. I mean, when I say young, he's 56 years old. Born in 1968. He's been playing for a long time. He plays the saxophone. He's a composer. He's also into jazz education, but he's a prolific musician. And again, I think one of the greatest saxophone players of our time. He's recorded over 40 albums as a leader and over 300 as a sideman. So this guy is really well seasoned, has played with a lot of people. He began as a classical musician, studied alto sax at Indiana University. He switched to jazz in the tenor saxophone and transferred to William Paterson University, where he studied with a lot of jazz legends such as Harold Mayburn, Rufus Reed, Joe Lovano, Steve Turre, and others. Alexander now, he's worked with many jazz musicians, including Chicago pianist Harold Mayburn. He's played with Ron Carter, Idris Muhammad, Pat Martino, and a host of others. Of course, he's part of Mike LeDonne's Groover Quartet with Peter Bernstein and Joe Farnsworth, and he's recorded and toured extensively with that sextet. And One for All, which I just reviewed that record recently. If you remember, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I reviewed that One for All record. So he's a very prolific musician, Eric Alexander. So, all right, let's open this up. Let's have a listen. This is a 2-record set. You got liner notes on the back. You've got, I'll let you know where this one was recorded and all that kind of fun stuff as we get going here. But I'm going to go ahead and open this up with the razor blade, and we're going to pull the records out. And as we always do, we're going to play them. You guys are going to hear it for yourself. And just to me, this channel is just having fun with you guys, sharing music. That's my favorite thing to do, is listen to music and share music with other people. So I really enjoy doing this, if you can't tell by watching these videos. So these videos are off the cuff. I mean, I don't, I take all the historical information that I want to give you, and I put that on the computer and kind of write all that up. But pretty much these are not edited videos. What you see is what you get. And I kind of like doing it that way. So there is the jacket. It's a plain, it's not a gatefold or anything. It's just 2 records that slide into the jacket there. Pretty decent jacket, you know, about average card stock. Let's go ahead and take a look at the records. These are kind of cool looking, black. Let me go ahead and, they're in anti-static sleeves, so that's good. Let me pull out the first record, and we'll clean it off with some distilled water. I'm going to play this through my Fluence RT85 with the Ortophon Blue, through a Ship Monty preamp into Yamaha HS8 speakers. Let's see here. This is a live album, which is pretty cool. 180 gram black vinyl here. This was recorded at the end of a 2-week tour that ended up at one of the world's finest jazz clubs called Frankie's in Vancouver, British Columbia. Recorded live December 15th, 16th, and 17th of 2023. And it was also Corey Weed's 50th birthday celebration. Engineered by Sheldon Zaharko, and edited and mixed and mastered by Chris Sulit. There is your label, black Cellar label, or kind of a grayish black looking label. Let's go ahead and spray this off, and let's drop it on the turntable and have a listen. I'm excited because I've listened to this the other day for the first time in my on my drive to work and back, and I just really I was just blown away by the playing on this. It's just a really fun record, fun music. A lot of intense playing. All of these guys are just masters of their instruments, and it's just intense playing. I'm really digging it. And at the same time, it's just a lot of fun to listen to. So if you like straight ahead jazz, you're gonna dig this. All right, so these tunes, this is more, of course, it's a live recording. These tunes are fairly long. There's a lot of cool, good jams and stuff, you know. So most songs are 5.5 to about 7.5 minutes. One of the longest tune on the album is 10.5 minutes. So it kind of gives you an idea of what you're in for on here. You've got tunes by Mike LeDonne on here, several of them. Eric Alexander's got a couple on here. There's a Cedar Walton tune. So a lot of cool things going on here. So let me go ahead and put the first side one, which is going to be JB. It's a Mike LeDonne tune. Let's dive into this. Appreciate you guys hanging out, giving these new releases a chance, because there's a lot of great jazz music coming out. I'm really digging it. Again, live from Frankie's Jazz Club. Listen to that. To that. Jeremy Pelt on trumpet. Nice sounding record. That is badass playing there. Great sounding record. Sound quality is great for a live performance. I mean, live recording, sounds fantastic. I mean, this is just... Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you're sitting in the club. It's a really nice recording. Jeremy Pelt, born in '76 in LA. Trumpet player, producer, educator. He studied classical trumpet as a child and focused on jazz after playing in a high school jazz ensemble. He studied at the Berklee College of Music. He's performed with a lot of different people: Robbie Coltrane, Louis Hayes, Roy Hargrove, Greg Osby, Cedar Walton, Cassandra Wilson, to name a few. He's got 24 albums as a leader and over 60 as a sideman. Mike LeDonne play. Yeah, this is one for the, if you like jazz live recordings, this is, it's kick-ass. Yeah. Nice. Great sound in it. I mean, really nice tonal balance. You can hear the mids, the highs, the mids, the lows. It's very well produced. It's got a nice sound stage to it, so you have some separation. You can hear all the instruments well. So I'm going to bring this down and talk about Vincent Herring, who is playing the alto on this, and then I'm going to flip the record over. You can hear this is all just awesome playing. Vincent Herring, born in 64 in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, is a saxophone player, plays the flute, he's a composer and an educator as well. When he was 11, he started playing saxophone in school bands and started studying privately at Dean Frederick's School of Music in Vallejo, California. At age 16, he entered California State University. On a music scholarship in 1982, he moved to New York, attending Long Island University. He first toured the United States and Europe as part of the Lionel Hampton Big Band. His talents came to the attention of Nat Adderley, and the two forged a 9-year musical relationship that led to 9 albums and touring around the world year after year. After Adderley's death, Herring collaborated with former Cannonball Adderley band member Louis Hayes to form the Cannonball Adderley Legacy Band. He also worked and recorded with Cedar Walton for over 2 decades. He's appeared on stage and recorded with an incredible list of jazz legends. I'll just name a few here, including Diz, Horace Silver, Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, Jack DeJohnette, Freddie Hubbard. The list literally goes on and on. Roy Hargrove, Kenny Barron, Wallace Roney. He's also appeared as a guest soloist with Wynton Marsalis at the Jazz Lincoln Center, as well as with John Faddis in the Carnegie Hall Big Band. He's recorded 25 albums as a leader and 250 as a sideman. So Vincent Herring has got, it's played with everybody. Another heavy hitter. That's why this album is called The Heavy Hitters. These guys are unbelievable. And I just love that it's live. I mean, I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to put on side 2 and play Groundation, which is another Mike LeDonne tune. And so I can play something off of all 4 of these sides. So buckle in, go grab a beverage while I flip the record over. And I'm just really excited about this album. I've had this on my wish list since I saw that it was coming out. And the day that it was available, I bought it. So I'm really, this is one of those, sounds fantastic. The pressing too is wonderful. There's been no noise so far. Flat record. These guys just smoke. dudes can play. Eric Alexander on the tenor, Vincent Herring. And, you know, all these guys are well seasoned, even though, you know, you've got Mike LeDonne, who's 68, Eric Alexander, younger, 56 years old, Jeremy Pelt, 48, Vincent Herring, 60, Alexander Claffy, I'm not sure how, I think he's probably maybe the youngest guy in the band. And then, of course, you have Kenny Washington, who's 66, who was born in Staten Island, New York. So I'm going to talk about Alexander Claffy here, the bass player, and talk about Kenny Washington. So Alexander Claffy playing bass on here. He is also a composer. He was raised in a musical household. His father was a pianist, his mother a vocalist, and he had many of his earliest lessons, he says, on the bandstands in Philadelphia, I guess where he grew up at. In middle school, he picked up the electric bass when some friends needed a bass player for their band. And as a teen, he could frequently be found in jazz clubs around Philly. In 2011, he earned a scholarship to the New School and moved to New York City. He studied with the legendary bassist Ron Carter. He hosts the podcast Village Green, where he interviews New York City jazz musicians. Since moving to New York in 2011, he has had the honor with working with many of his heroes, including Jimmy Cobb, Louis Hayes, Harold Mayburn, Kurt Rosenwinkel, Christian Scott, Wallace Roney, and many others. He's also a vinyl enthusiast from what I read, so I would love to have him on the channel to talk records. So I'm gonna see if I can't reach out to Alexander and see if he might come on the channel. And I'd love to talk to all these guys, to be honest, because this is such an incredible lineup. Listen to Kenny Washington here. So Kenny Washington, the last one that I'll talk about in this lineup, born in 58, Staten Island, New York, drummer, composer. Born in Brooklyn. Man, that's awesome. So Washington studied with former Dizzy Gillespie drummer Rudy Collins. He attended the New York's LaGuardia High School for Music and Art. He worked with Lee Konitz while he was still in his teens and recording with the saxophonist Nornette in 77. He's worked with everybody again, Betty Carter, Johnny Griffin, Dizzy Gillespie, Clark Terry, George Gables, Lionel Hampton, Sonny Stitt, Bill Charlap, Ahmad Jamal, Tommy Flanagan. The list goes on and on and on. Again, these guys are all prolific. He has a strong interest in jazz history. He's written liner notes or helped prepare liner notes for re-releases by Art Blakey and Count Basie and others. He's taught jazz drumming at the New School in New York City and has worked as an announcer at the New Jersey jazz radio station WBGO. He has been on over 130 albums as a sideman. So again, heavy hitters here, all of them. I guess the older I get, you know, I was like, when I look at how old these players are, and I'm like, yeah, he's pretty young. You know, I'm looking at him like, well, he's 58. He's pretty young for me. You know, I'm like 54, and the older I get, I'm like, you know, these guys aren't that old. You know, I guess that's how it is. The older you get, you kind of tend to think that. Tend to think you're not that old, right? So anyway, I'm gonna flip this record over and we're gonna go to Continuum, the 10.5-minute tune by Mike LeDonne. We're gonna jam out on that, and then I'm gonna flip it over and close out on side 4. This was executive produced by Corey Weeds, Raymond Torchinsky, John Bennett, Patrick Julian, and Yvonne DeTroy. It was produced by Mike LeDonne and Corey Weeds. Again, recorded at Frankie's Jazz Club in Vancouver, December 15th, 16th, and 17th, 2023. engineered by Sheldon Zaharko, edited, mixed, and mastered by Chris Sulit. And he did a very good job. This is a really nice sounding recording. I'm always impressed when people are able to record it, mix it, and master it themselves. That's really tough to do, in my opinion. So it's always, you know, a lot of people will have somebody else master it for them. When somebody can do it all and make it sound this good, it's pretty impressive. So I'm going to put on side 3 here. We're going to keep jamming out. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It's a lot of fun to share this with you guys. It's just a great freaking album. I mean, this is one you're going to want to pick up if you like jazz. I can't see anybody not digging this record. All right, another Mike LeDonne tune. One thing about being a musician, and I'm nowhere near what these guys are, but you can never exhaust how, you know, how much you can learn, how much more you can play your instrument, you know, how much you can learn musically, but also how much better you can get on your instrument. And I think, you know, you can get better technically on your instrument almost your entire life until you get to an advanced stage where you know, start having physical issues. But I think that's one thing that's so great about especially jazz music, because you could just keep expanding your vocabulary, and it's just, to me, my favorite genre of music. So if you guys haven't figured that out yet by watching this channel, got Alexander Claffy there on the bass. I mean, these guys just smoke. This whole album is just from beginning to end, both all the way through. It's just intense, great improvisation. And I like the way that they do Corey does the covers and always has the liner notes on the back. I'm glad that he's still kind of sticking to that tradition, because some of the newer jazz labels don't put the liner notes on there anymore. I think it's really cool to have those. So sounds like you're sitting in the club. Both records have been flat, no noise to speak of. Great pressing so far. Yeah, I've you know, pretty much one word to describe this album, and that's badass. I mean, this is just, to me, because everybody's so good on this. This is going to be one that's going to be sitting on the shelf here next to my turntable. It's going to come out a lot. Definitely when I have friends over next time, this one's coming out. And this is going to be one that I'm going to listen to a lot because I like to focus on different instruments when I listen through to the record sometimes, because it's like you learn so much musically by hearing what they're doing. So you listen to the piano throughout the whole record. Listen to the solos, but also how he comps. Same thing with listen to the bass throughout the record. And the drums, I mean, nice. Yeah. Nice. I'm going to bring it down. We'll play a tune off the 4 side. This is fantastic. And what I was trying to explain was there's different ways of listening to this. And this is one of those records that you can listen to, just kick back and listen to it and just enjoy it for the music that it is, how it hits you. It's a very impactful record for me. And then at the same time, from a musical standpoint, when you just want to go through and listen to the different instruments, especially Mike LeDonne on piano when he's, doing his comping and also playing the solos, and you listen to the drums and the bass, and you listen to how they're playing off each other. There's a lot musically that you can learn from listening to this as well. So it's a really cool record. I'm going to flip it over. We're going to listen to a tune called Lord Walton, and we're going to close out the video. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I know this is a little bit longer than some of the other videos, but it's a 2-record set, and I like to play something from all 4 sides. And all the musicians on this album, like the album says, heavy hitters. So I wanted to spend just a little bit of time talking about each of these guys, because they're all just incredible musicians. They're all well seasoned, even though you have varying age ranges. They're all just, great musicians. And this is just a great record. Great pressing, great recording, live recording. All right, folks, that's what's up. Heavy hitters, Mike LeDonne, Eric Alexander, Jeremy Pelt, Vincent Herring, Alexander Claffy, Kenny Washington. They all kick ass. This is just an awesome record. You're going to want to add this to your collection. I can guarantee it. And I like the fact that a lot of these are original tunes by Mike LeDonne. Eric Alexander's got a couple on here. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Go check out this album. Subscribe if you haven't done that. I got a lot of awesome reviews coming up, a lot of great jazz records. I've got more SACD comparisons. I'll be doing The Police. I'm excited about this one. And I'm going to be doing a Love Supreme comparison, SACD to vinyl. So stay tuned for those. I'm working on those. Put together the historical information for those albums. So again, I can do an informative video for you guys. Happy listening, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.